Hey everybody, Miss Erin here. So we are going to continue reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So last week we finished chapter 5 and Harry went to Diagon Alley with Hagrid and got all his school supplies. And then he had to head home and he was a little bit bummed about that, even though he had the best birthday of his whole life. So let's continue reading here. I'm really excited to see what happens next. Our next chapter, chapter 6, is titled The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. Harry's last month with the Dursleys wasn't fun. True, Dudley was now more scared of Harry than he wouldn't say in the same room, while Petunia and Uncle Vernon didn't shut Harry in his cupboard, force him to do anything or shout at him. In fact, they didn't speak to him at all. Half terrified, half furious, they acted as though any chair with Harry in it was empty. Although this was an improvement in many ways, it did become a bit depressing after a while. Harry kept to his room, with his new owl for company. He had decided to call her Hedwig, a name he had found in a history of magic. His school books were very interesting. He lay on his bed reading late into the night, Hedwig swooping in and out of the window as she pleased. It was lucky that Aunt Petunia didn't come in to hover anymore, because Hedwig kept bringing back dead mice. Every night before he went to sleep, Harry ticked off another day on the piece of paper he pinned to the wall, counting down to September the 1st. On the last day of August, he thought he'd better speak to his aunt and uncle about getting to King's Cross Station the next day, so he went to the living room where they were watching a quiz show on television. He cleared his throat to let them know he was there, and Dudley screamed and ran from the room. Uncle Vernon? Uncle Vernon grunted to show that he was listening. Well, I need to be at King's Cross tomorrow to go to Hogwarts. Uncle Vernon grunted again. Would it be all right if you gave me a lift? Grunt. Harry supposed that meant yes. Thank you. He was about to go back upstairs when Uncle Vernon actually spoke. Funny way to get to a wizard school, the train. Magic carpets all got punctures, have they? Harry didn't say anything. Where is this school, anyway? I don't know, said Harry, realizing this for the first time. He pulled the ticket Hagrid gave him out of his pocket. It says I just take the train from platform 9 3/4 at 11 o'clock, he read. His aunt and uncle stared. Platform what? 9 3/4. Don't talk rubbish, said Uncle Vernon. There is no platform 9 3/4. It's on my ticket. Barking, said Uncle Vernon. Howling mad, the lot of them. You'll see. You just wait. All right, we'll take you to King's Cross. We're going up to London tomorrow anyways, or I wouldn't bother. Why are you going to London? Harry asked, trying to keep things friendly. Taking Dudley to a hospital, growled Uncle Vernon. Got to have that ruddy tail removed before he goes to Smeltings. Harry woke up at 5 o'clock the next morning and was too excited and nervous to go back to sleep. He got up, pulled on his jeans because he didn't want to walk into the station with his wizard robe, and he changed on the train. He would change on the train. He checked his Hogwarts list again to make sure he had everything he needed, saw that Hedwig was shut safely in her cage, and then paced around the room, waiting for the Dursleys to get up. 2 hours later, Harry's huge, heavy trunk had been loaded into the Dursleys' car. Aunt Petunia had talked Dudley into sitting next to Harry, and they set off. They reached King's Cross at 10:30. Uncle Vernon dumped Harry's trunk on a trolley and wheeled it to the station for him. Harry thought that this was strangely kind until Uncle Vernon stopped dead, facing the platforms with a nasty grin on his face. Well, there you all are, boy. Platform 9, platform 10. Your platform should be somewhere in the middle, but they don't seem to have built it yet, huh? He was quite right, of course. There was a big plastic number 9 over one platform, and a big plastic number 10 over the one next to it, and in the middle, nothing. Nothing at all. Have a good term, said Uncle Vernon with an even nastier smile. He left without saying another word. Harry turned and saw the Dursleys drive away. All three of them were laughing. Harry's mouth went rather dry. What on earth was he going to do? He was starting to attract a lot of funny looks because of Hedwig. He'd have to ask somebody. He stopped a passing guard, but didn't dare mention platform 9 3/4. The guard had never heard of Hogwarts, and when Harry couldn't even tell him what part of the country it was in, he started to get annoyed, as though Harry was being stupid on purpose. Getting desperate, Harry asked for the train that left at 11 o'clock, but the guard said that there wasn't one. In the end, the guard strode away, muttering about time wasters. Harry was now trying hard not to panic. According to the large clock over the arrivals board, he had 10 minutes left to get on the train to Hogwarts, and he had no idea how to do it. He was stranded in the middle of a station with a trunk he could hardly lift, a pocket full of wizard money, and a large owl. Hagrid must have forgotten to tell him something that you had to do, like tapping on the third brick on the left to get to Diagon Alley. He wondered if he should get his wand out and start tapping the ticket box between the platforms 9 and 10. At that moment, a group of people passed by him, and he caught a few words of what they were saying, packed with muggles, of course. Harry swung around. The speaker was a plump woman who was talking to 4 boys, all with flaming red hair. Each one of them was pushing a trunk like Harry's in front of him, and they had an owl. Heart hammering, Harry pushed his trolley after them. They stopped, and so did he, just near enough to hear what they were saying. "Now what's the platform number?" said the boy's mother. 9 3/4, piped a small girl, also red-headed, who was holding her hand. "Mom, can I go?" "You're not old enough, Jenny. Now be quiet. All right, Percy, you go first." What looked like the oldest boy marched towards platforms 9 and 10. Harry watched, careful not to blink in case he missed it. But just as the boy reached the divide between the 2 platforms, a large crowd of tourists came swarming in front of him, and by the time the last rucksack had been cleared away, the boy vanished. "Fred, you're next," said the plump woman. "I'm not Fred, I'm George," said the boy. "Honestly, call yourself our mother. Can't you tell him, George?" "Oh, I'm sorry, George." "Only joking, I'm Fred," said the boy, and then he went off. His twin called after him to hurry up, and he must have done, because a second later he was gone. But how did they do it? Now the third brother was walking briskly towards the ticket barrier. He was almost there, and then, quite suddenly, he wasn't there. There was nothing else for it. "Excuse me," Harry said to the plump woman. "Oh, hello, dear," she said. "First time at Hogwarts?" Ron's new, too. She pointed at the last and youngest of her sons. He was tall and thin and gangly, with freckles and big hands and feet and a long nose. "Yes, the thing is I don't know how to." "How to get onto the platform?" she said kindly, and Harry nodded. "Not to worry. All you have to do is walk straight at the barrier between platforms 9 and 10. Don't stop, and don't be scared you'll crash into it. That's very important. Best do it at a bit of a run if you're nervous. All right, go on before Ron." Okay, said Harry. All right, we will stop there and continue for part 2.